Good afternoon, everybody. Oh, wait, it's saying that it's not going live. Hold on, I have a problem already. Okay, it looks like Facebook is going to be removed, but good afternoon, everyone. I am Nancy Quinn. I am here with Amelia from Serene Marketing, and we are here to talk about marketing today for interior designers. And I love this topic. It's one of my favorite topics because in our Profit Insider Academy, marketing is one of the topics that comes up almost every single session. So welcome, Amelia. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you, Nancy?
I'm doing very well. So let's get it started. Tell us where you want to start when it comes to interior designers marketing themselves.
Yeah. So we've seen a big shift in, everybody going all in on social, which makes sense. It's one of the easier, there's no barrier to entry with social media when you're marketing your business. However, you still have to remember the basics. You can't go all in on social and forget about the other things that worked several years ago and likely will still work now. So especially with social media being a little bit saturated, we've been talking with our clients about going back to basics. And when I say basics, it doesn't mean that anything about the strategy or the approach is basic. It just means that it's something that 10 years ago was the way that you marketed and maybe, lost steam or popularity because of social. So those things would be your focus on word of mouth. Print marketing is really making a comeback. So, like even fence screens, if you're working on a new build and you're doing the interior design, get yourself a fence screen or a yard sign, a little pamphlet of your work. That's an overview of your portfolio, those kinds of things. When I say basics, that's what we're talking about and bringing those back into the fold.
So it's funny because after, listen, all the interior designers had basically a whirlwind in COVID in many areas, right? Mm-hmm. And then it was post-COVID and everyone was on my calendar like, my pipeline has died. And I said,
what do I do?
Yeah, the same thing. We got to go back to marketing our businesses, not just building a website and they come in droves because of the season in the world we were in, right? So now it is. But I'm interested in the print marketing topic because historically I have found if somebody does a print ad, unless they're in every single monthly magazine that comes out, a one and done often does not seem to pay. What do you find?
Yes, we find similar. So I wouldn't say go all in necessarily on like a print ad in a magazine per se, because number one, publications are very expensive. They are like, we have some clients who do it, it works within their budget and they are effective, but that's because they've been running them for years in that publication. They have a relationship with that publication and it works. Yes. When I'm talking about print marketing, a lot of the time that overlaps with word of mouth as well. So we have some clients, we've recently done some leave behinds for them. We call them leave behinds, but really what they are is they're going to networking events. They are partnering with realtors. They're meeting with contractors and people that could give them business. So think industry partners, and they're leaving them with something to remind them of them. So it's really pairing that word of mouth, pairing those industry relationships, and then giving them one more thing to leave them with other than they know your name. If they're sitting there at their desk one day, say they're a contractor, they're working with a homeowner, but they need design direction, and the contractor, as we shouldn't be doing that, right? So they're sitting at their desk, they're trying to think of who to refer, and they look next to them and they have your portfolio in a little booklet or a leave behind. Those are the kind of realtors even. I have one client who she goes to events that she knows realtors are going to be at, and she hands out her leave behind. So print marketing, even though, ads and publications can work, a lot of the time for print marketing to be effective, it's paired with some kind of networking event or word of mouth or something where you're building a relationship one-on-one with somebody. And then you're leaving them with something that they can be reminded of you by.
Right. So the leave behind for a business to business, meaning real estate agent, contractor, architect, hairdresser, high-end restaurants, whatever you're doing, you'll leave behind. What do you feel an interior designer should have in their leave behind? Because I find they put way too much detail into it. And I like a more, and again, I'm looking for your opinion. We're having this conversation live, everybody. I like them business to business to teach the other business how they can refer each other. to create that relationship. Like, how's it best to refer you? Here's how best to refer me. And the leave behind could be a little bit like that, or be the tool you're teaching them to hand to, like you said, a prospective client.
Right. So you definitely want your leave behind to be targeted to who you are giving it to. So the same leave behind that you give to a potential client is not what you want to give to a potential industry partner. While they can look the same, like you just touched on, the information inside needs to be a little bit different. So maybe you dive into, deeper a little bit, your services and how that pairs with that industry partner. A realtor, for example, you would refer me at this stage in the home buying or selling process. This is where I would come into play. You're really talking to them. Contractor, same thing. Here's when you would refer me. Here's how we would work together.
Yes, thank you.
Because you need to know how we're going to work together. And then definitely at least a project or two of images. Because even though, a contractor may know your work, every industry partner you have, it's still a good reminder to have a visual reference of your work in there. So obviously touch on how you are going to work together with that particular industry partner, but also give that visual reference too, because it's just another reminder of here's what they can produce. Because what they can do, if they're talking to somebody, they can say, even though this is my leave behind, they're not going to tell them that, but even though it's theirs, they can quickly show what your visual references are. So always include a visual reference, and I always say, whether it's a page or a few pages, make the cover or that first impression really splashy. So you want that cover to be your brand name, image of your work, a couple images of your work if it fits with the design, and what you do. And then obviously somewhere on there how to contact you. But the print marketing needs to be targeted, just like your social media posts are targeted.
Okay, that's what I was getting at, to make sure it's not just a general, here's my service models and this is who I help and here's some pretty pictures and here's my contact information. We want it to be, I work with architects and this is how I make your life easier type of feel. Okay, and this is how you can refer me, and this is my perfect referral partner. So you can be specific. And if you ever have a home over $1 million with a client is right, you can give some examples. But we have to be careful not to fill it up with too many words that get lost. Right.
You don't want something, people don't have the attention spans that they used to have. So you need to be able to say everything in a few words. So that's where having a marketing partner help you can really, that really comes into play, because we take that messaging for you and we really pare it down to what will be the most effective and what will, drive those people to want to work with you. So, and then also just think outside of the box. We say back to basics, but if you see a contractor, like I mentioned, doing a fence screen on a new home, meaning like they're building the home or, the builder, custom home builder, whatever it is, and you're doing the interior design, why not get in on that fence screen space and do just a 5-foot, kind of sign for yourself? Like, start looking at how other industry partners are in construction companies. I used to work for a construction company. I used to be in the marketing department of a construction company. They are very much back to basics. They might be on social, but they do not forget about the basics. And you have to kind of put yourself in that headspace with the yard signs, the networking, the word of mouth. You are trying to attract, the same target audience. So
I put it so simple. Get out from behind your desk.
Yes.
Social media and email marketing is not the be all and end all for local businesses. They need to be in local organizations, talking to other local business owners, figuring out how they can help those local business owners, because when you help someone else, they will help you back. And then, like you said, provide marketing materials that they can actually use to direct business to you.
Exactly that. I mean, referrals are going to be they're one thing. If social dies tomorrow, having your name out there with the right people is what's going to get your business through. So I know that, coming up with referral programs and things like that can sometimes be tricky for interior designers. But I will say, just from my experience in my company, referrals it has been our biggest growth engine for sure. And it's not dead. It's not dead.
It's definitely not dead. And it's something that causes a lot of people anxiety, especially if they're introverts. So learning the skills and breaking through that anxiety is really important to keeping their business alive. And marketing in person is so important. All right. Did we miss anything?
No, I think we're good.
Okay. All right. So listen, everybody, your marketing is what keeps your business alive, right? You can't just put up a website, say you're an interior designer and expect people to come to you. You have to be actively, as the CEO of your company, working it always, right? So having a marketing company like Serene in your repertoire, it gives you a superpower that you probably don't even realize can happen to you, right? So I would highly recommend getting on Amelia's calendar, having a chat to let her give you the chance to see what a full marketing team can actually do for you. So tell everyone, Amelia, what your company does, soup to nuts. Everything.
Yeah. So when we first start working with client, even if you think you only want social media services, we build out a full funnel marketing strategy for you. It doesn't mean that you're ready to tackle it all. It may not be in your budget right away, but we have a full funnel marketing strategy from digital marketing, which would be your social pieces, your website, so on, and then even down to print and those other things if we think that they could be effective for you. So we build out that full marketing strategy, and then we work with you on what items you want to tackle. We tend to start with social because it's, again, the easiest thing to tackle at first. And then as you grow your business, as the social media starts to work, we add on those other marketing funnel things so that your marketing doesn't stop at social media. So we start with social media. By the end, we're likely updating your website. We are doing some print materials for you. We are running an email marketing campaign. We may be running paid ads, and they're all working together strategically. They come into play strategically. It isn't just, oh, well, we have the budget now, let's add it. Okay, but does it make more sense to add it in Q4 when this is happening or this? So we're very targeted to location as well. Some things that work in LA do not work on the East Coast. So, but we're taking into account a full funnel marketing strategy and putting things into effect as we feel would be the most effective. And then as your business grows, your strategy grows with us too.
Love it. And your team, you have a full team for all of those aspects. You are now my social media company and redoing our website. So stay tuned, everybody. If you are struggling with these things, your branding, your marketing, you don't know what direction to go in, please get on Amelia's calendar, get a consultation. You do a free consultation initially?
Yes. Yeah, we do a free discovery call. It's normally between 30 and 45 minutes. And then from there, we get the ball rolling, and then you make the decision on if you move forward.
Okay, sounds good. All right, everyone, go have a great Tuesday. Head over to serenemarketing.com. It's above Amelia's head, and set yourself up a free phone consultation so you can talk about your marketing and how you can expand it in order to make sure your pipeline does not die, which
Thank you,
is
Nancy.
what we always hope for. Thank you, Amelia. See you next time. Bye, everyone.
Bye.